Today is the 21st. There are updated PTR notes for the World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery Phase 4, and we're going to look at those. Build 55244. Let me look at the current version. 55112. Yep, so there's a future build that we don't have available just yet. You can see here the servers are not available yet. We made a number of adjustments to classes since our previous release. Okay, wow. And we are continuing to review feedback. We'd encourage you to test new changes and continue to provide commentary in this form. We greatly appreciate all the feedback we've received so far. Okay. This week, we've also significantly buffed Testwerk's health and damage to allow the fight to last around twice as long and to put a more pressure on healers and tanks for better test data. Please give him a try. Okay. We're also enabling the Blackrock Eruption event on PTR to allow players to test that as well. You can find more information about Blackrock Eruption below. This content is still a work in progress. Okay. This was a big mystery on the first PTR. Like, we saw evidence of this existing, but really no evidence of what it was. Chatter says, first time Chatter says, Terrasland is out. Why do you care about this? This sounds so boring compared to Terrasland. Resident Sleeper, Resident Sleeper, Resident Sleeper. Ban that guy. Occurring every 2 hours starting at midnight, the Blackrock Eruption event will occur. While the event is active, additional spawns and environmental hazards will occur in Searing Gorge. We'll be expanding to Burning Steps as well in a later update. Okay. We did see the alert for the event in both zones before. So they're saying just Searing Gorge for now. Players will gain access to new daily quests at Thorium Point. Players will also receive a large bonus to honor. You know what? What if this gives you Thorium Brotherhood reputation? Because Thorium Brotherhood reputation was like a big, massive material turn-in grind. I think that's something they would alleviate. Players will also receive a large bonus to honor gained while inside Blackrock Mountain. A large bonus. Okay. Conversely, players will gain no honor from World PvP while in Searing Gorge or Burning Steps while the event is active. Okay, I kind of like that. Send the PvPers into the mountain and let the people that want to do the event go outside and give strong incentives for them to do each thing. The intention of this event is an optional activity for players to do each day to earn additional Thorium Brotherhood and Hydraxian Waterlord's reputation, should they choose to do so, as well as create a flashpoint for World PvP focused on the interior of Blackrock Mountain. As if that didn't exist already. But yeah, I'm happy to see them incentivize it a little more. We've listened to a lot of player feedback around World PvP and these types of events. While PvP can and should occur on a PvP server, we're going to heavily incentivize you to move your conflicts inside the mountain itself while the event is active with a sizable honor buff inside the mountain. Ultimately, this content is meant to be a lightweight, optional activity players can participate in to supplement endgame reputation gain and gain a bit of gold with very modest daily investment of time, as well as to give us a reason to recreate some of the epic battles that we all remember so well inside Blackrock Mountain, as if we needed there we go. I mean, I think they're kind of... I think they're right on target. Kuja says people will still grief the event 100%. Oh yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. Any chance GDAP will be allowed in Phase 4? If I worked at Blizzard, I would be advocating for that, but I don't. You're going to have to ask someone who works at Blizzard. General PTR adjustments. Template characters. All class template characters have been updated to account for the changes below. All available flight paths. That's good. We were starting with like 3 flight paths or something and had to run across the world. It was so annoying. Several classes were missing weapon skills or access to weapons themselves. Okay, good. Now we can try using maces on my rogue. Vendors have been updated with a few additional consumables. Okay, we'll have to see what those are. Vendors have also been updated to add any new skill books that were added since the previous round of PTR. So they have, okay, if we're getting new skills, those new skills are going to be on the vendors. I think that's what they're saying. Newly created template characters will already have, okay, sure. Testwerk, base damage increased by 50%. Hateful Strike damage increased by 75%. Health doubled. Okay, they did say they were going to make Testwerk a bit beefier. So that makes sense. Class adjustments on notes on tanks. We made adjustments to allow each tank's primary AoE ability to hit a larger number of targets, in most cases 10 or more. Going into Season of Discovery, we hope to maintain some of the rewarding gameplay and challenge that tanks faced in original WoW and keep AoE threat a bit lower relative to newer versions. But as time has gone by, our perspective on Season of Discovery has changed, as damage dealing classes have gained more AoE tools and damage in general. As a result, we've decided to open up each tank class's AoE capabilities a bit more. Many groups may find that large pulls in Season of Discovery to be quite deadly, so a good strategy and plan for CC is still recommended in most dungeons. In my experience as a rogue tank, pull minimum 3 packs at a time, no crowd control. Make sure you have an elemental shaman in your group because they do a million DPS. That's my experience with the previous build of the PTR. Closao, good morning. How's it going? Let's see. Druid changes. Fury of Stormrage rune now states that it allows the use of Wrath while in Tree of Life form. Okay. I think people were complaining about that before. The new Tree of Life form was like super restrictive. Nourish now benefits from improved regrowth talent and benefits from effects that interact with regrowth. Okay, good. That's locking it in. That rogues have this on a lot of their spells too. A lot of their new spells say like, oh, such and such new spell benefits from all like talents and effects that benefit Sinister Strike, old spell. Fixed a bug enabling efflorescence ticks from being able to critically hit. So now they bug enabling from being. Does that mean they can crit now or they can't crit now? I'm not sure. Illune's Fires now extends the duration of Moonfire and Sunfire up to its initial duration, but there's no longer a limit on the number of refreshes per ability. Okay. A lot of the non-rogue class stuff, I'm not going to really know what it means. Because I'm not, fully invested in all these other classes. I don't know what all their abilities do. Moon Conform now provides the druid with 2 spell power per the druid's character level and allows Insect Swarm, Moonfire, and Sunfire's damage over time effect to critically hit. Oh, wow. That's got to be good. This is ... And making dots able to critically hit, that's a big deal. It adds a pretty big, if damage multiplier in, damage scaling into those abilities. So they scale up with your critical strike chance, and they scale better with spell power. Dream State tooltip updated to reflect that it only triggers from non-periodic critical strikes. Okay. Improved Swipe now increases the maximum targets on Swipe to 10 targets. Okay. Heart of the Lion aura no longer cancels itself after a few seconds of being active. Wow. I didn't even know that was a problem, but that sounds like it would be something that would be really annoying. Fixed an issue with the stables, preventing hunter pets from being able to be stabled or summoned on the PTR. Okay, which sounds like basic bug fix. Hot Streak rune has been moved to the Helm slot. Rewind Time rune has been moved to the Wrist slot. I don't really know what that means. Vampiric Touch now gains properly additional benefits from the following talents: Blackout, Shadow Affinity, Shadow Focus, Shadow Reach, Darkness, Martyrdom, Inner Focus. So did Vampiric Touch not interact with anything before? Pain and Suffering has been adjusted. Mind Blast, Mind Spike, and Mind Flay refresh the duration of one of your Shadow Word Pain, Void. That's a talent or a rune or whatever. Ability with the shortest remaining will always be the one refreshed. Oh, so that's kind of like Rogue's Cut to the Chase. Vampiric Touch now also applies Vampiric Embrace, including when it is refreshed by Pain and Suffering. Okay. This is the mana one, and that's the healing one, I think. Curse debuff cast by Eye of the Void no longer have a cooldown. Mindseer now also damages the primary target. Okay. Mindseer, if it works like it did in Wrath, was an interesting AoE where it didn't deal damage to the one you targeted, but only to the enemies around it, which I thought was kind of weird. Divine Light has been moved to the Cloak Rune slot. Paladin abilities are the hardest ones to learn what they actually are, because all the names are the same. Divine Light, Divine Shield, Blessing of Light, Holy Shield, Holy this, Divine that. It's like, all the abilities are the same name. Very hard to differentiate them. Beacon of Light. Holy Shield to deal too much damage. Okay, adjusted the tooltip of Hallowed Ground to clarify that damage does not need to be dealt to enemies with Consecrate, or Consecrate to heal allies. Okay. Aegis Rune now allows the Paladin to gain 2% chance per talent point in the Reckoning talent learned to trigger the Reckoning effect when receiving a melee or range attack. Additional damage. I don't know what the rest of that means, and Rogue section is next, so we're skipping. Fixed an issue preventing more than one rogue's application of deadly or occult poison from being present on a target. Very good. This was a very big problem. It was just a bug. That's a W. Last Paladin line, important. A new spell has been added via Spellbook, Divine Steed. Ooh. Okay. I understand what that is. Paladins have Sprint now, and it's better than Rogue Sprint. Shorter duration, shorter cooldown is much better than way longer than necessary duration, 5-minute cooldown. This is better than Rogue Sprint, easily. Fixed an issue causing Fan of Knives to generate energy from focus attacks with offhand critical strikes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay. That doesn't mean Rogue AoE is dead. It means it's slightly weaker. Attack power bonus granted from defense skill effect has been moved from Rolling with the Punches to Blade Dance. I think Blizzard... Okay, here's the thing. A lot of the, like, high-performance rogue tanks, they just take Envenom. They do not take Blade Dance, defensive ability, finishing move. And then they don't get the 20% damage reduction from just a flesh wound, because that's forced to, like, you have to have Blade Dance up for that. And it's just like, you know, whatever. The healer can still heal you, you do more damage, and in, like, a high-end, high-performance environment, you know, if the healer can handle it, you might as well deal more damage. It's... Personally, I don't like this. I totally understand why the rogues do it, but I think Blizzard also hates it. So they're like, put some damage bonus on Blade Dance. How can we possibly get rogue tanks to actually take Blade Dance? Yep. Resolved a bug causing the bonus energy effect from Relentless Strikes to have a chance to proc once per target hit with Crimson Tempest rather than per spell cast. Okay. So, I wasn't sure if that was an intentional interaction or not. I kind of thought, like, maybe that was a bug. But if they're going to remove that, you're never going to pick... I don't think you're ever picking Crimson Tempest. You know, because you have... Crimson Tempest not only has to measure up against Blunderbuss and against Fan of Knives on the Cloak Rune slot, it also has to measure up as a finishing move against Envenom. Okay? And it's not better than Envenom. This is like almost never going to be better than Envenom. And when you're at the target counts where it does become better than Envenom due to its AoE nature, you would rather be using Fan of Knives. Poison Knife now refunds 5 energy per number of deadly or occult poison on the target. Okay, so if you have 5 stacks of deadly or occult, poison knife is free. However, it still has a minimum range. That's weird. It being free and still a ranged ability is irrelevant. Is basically irrelevant. Shuriken Toss now grants 1 combo point per enemy hit and a 30-second cooldown. Okay, they said they were going to add a cooldown, but 30 seconds seems a bit excessive if you ask me. 15, 20 seconds, so you can use it like on the opener once per pull. 30 seconds is a lot. Saber Slash now stacks 3 times instead of 5, granting a 33% damage increase per stack, up from 20%. We had an issue in the previous PTR build that Saber Slash changes that came via hotfix were missing. This adjustment re-implements those changes, blah, 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 improves the usability as a further... Okay, so basically, they're just... This actually was in the PTR. It was doing more damage per stack. It's just that the tooltip didn't say it was doing that. Shaman. Okay, how are they going to nerf Shaman? Let's find out. While using the... Actually, let me back up. I think this is a bad change. Whether you want to call it a bug or not, I think this is a bad change because Crimson Tempest is basically DOA now. Like, you have to measure Crimson Tempest both against Envenom, and you have to measure it against your other Cloak Rune slots. And I think you're virtually never going to find a spot where Crimson Tempest is now better than Envenom and better than the other 2 Cloak Runes. This, probably for the better. Probably for the better. But here's the thing, you might think like, oh no, we cut the energy generation in half. Oh no, we can't do Fan of Knives AoE anymore. No, the energy generation from focus attacks in Season of Discovery, even with this change, is still 50% higher than the energy generation from Fan of Knives in Wrath of the Lich King. Okay? And in Season of Discovery, we will not be equipping a Fell Striker that's 100 weapon DPS lower than what we could be using. We'll just be equipping a Fell Striker that's like 5 weapon DPS higher than the other option. Okay, so equipping Fell Striker is like no longer a massive stat and weapon DPS loss, right? So Fell Striker is like super duper giga more insane in Season of Discovery compared to how it is in Wrath of Lich King. This tones it down, but certainly does not eliminate the possibility of doing ridiculous Fan of Knives AoE. This change, I think, 30-second cooldown is maybe a little bit too much. Like, when you're going through a dungeon, like, you can finish a pull in less than 30 seconds and then not have Shuriken Toss for the next pull. I mean, I think something like 15 or 20 seconds is more reasonable. Okay, moving on. The rest of the changes, really, like, no comment. Like, this, we'll investigate it on live. Like, I don't know, maybe they didn't put in the note that Poison Knife doesn't have minimum range anymore, but, like, I've said it before, as long as Poison Knife has minimum range, like, what you do, it like, doesn't matter. It's like, it's not gonna be used. This one I think is funny. Trying to get the tank rogues to use Blade Dance. While using Shield Mastery Rune, the attack power granted from defense skill is now triggered by the use of Flame Shock. Okay. I don't know. That sounds like an additional restriction, so possibly it's in some way a nerf. Attack speed bonus granted by two-handed weapon specialization rune after landing a melee attack on an enemy with a two-handed weapon has been increased to 50%? From what? From what? Does anyone know what it used to be? 50% attack speed bonus is a big deal. And I know people have been complaining about two-handed enhance like not being a thing. This could be a big buff to that. Maelstrom weapon now has a significantly higher chance to proc with two-handed weapons equipped. Okay, that seems like another, like, enabling two-handed version. Molten Blast can now hit up to 10 targets. I believe that was restricted to 4 targets before. 30 you guys are saying was the old version. Okay. Maximum rank of all weapon imbues now has a 1 hour duration. Yes. Wait, hang on. That reminds me. They didn't make any notes about removing the charge limit on the new rogue poisons. Felguard has gained Demonic Frenzy, which causes the melee attacks to grant 5% additional attack power for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. Okay, Felguard got super juiced. That's 50% more attack power. Soul Siphon now grants Drain Soul up to 300% increased damage when targets are below 20% health. Okay, that's like it is in Wrath. So the Warlocks have like insane execute phase. Are they going to be? Is this good enough that the Warlocks are going to do like they do in Wrath, where they just do Drain Soul sub 20 as their like execute phase main damaging ability? Yeah, apparently there's no nerfs to Elemental Shaman here. I don't know exactly what this is, but it feels like adding a restriction to something is in some way a nerf. But Ele Shaman's used Flame Shock before, so I don't know if they were using Shield Mastery or not. But, like, this can't be a nerf to Ele Shaman. Wait, enjoy your 3-hour queue? Wait, what? Hang on. Let me reload my launcher and see if it lets me start downloading the new patch. Alright, we're back. It is not letting me download the new patch yet. Okay. Warlock changes. Lake of Fire has been redesigned and now causes Rain of Fire to be instant cast with no channeling time, but has an 8-second cooldown. So you, like, just drop a Rain of Fire, and then you can keep moving, and the Rain of Fire just goes for its duration on that location. That seems alright. Backdraft now increases casting speed for 15 seconds, up from 10. Okay. Shadow Cleave can now hit up to 10 targets. Mark of Chaos has been redesigned. Curse of Agony and Curse of Doom to apply the Mark of Chaos to the target for their duration. Reduces the target's resistance by 75 and increases spell damage. Increases the target's spell damage taken by up to 10%. Does this stack with my Occult Poison from a rogue? Because that seems like the same. You know, Occult Poison says non-physical damage. This says spell damage taken. This is basically like a juiced up Curse of Elements, reduce resistance and increase damage taken, but it's not like specific to certain spell schools. Shield Slam now grants 15% of attack power as additional damage. Okay, so Shield Slam DPS going up. Single-Minded Fury has been adjusted, now grants single-minded buff that stacks up to 5 times, granting 2% attack speed while you continue attacking the same target with auto attacks. The movement speed effect has been reduced back to 10%, and the threat reduction component was removed. The threat reduction has been removed. Okay, so this was a rune that in Phase 3 was like a 10% damage buff. Then in the first version of the PTR got changed to a 0% damage buff. So it was just like a flat-out big nerf. Now it's a 10% attack speed buff, which seems good. Okay. Additional effects has been added to Gladiator Stance to increase rage generation when attacking a target that is not actively attacking the warrior. Okay. Thunderclap can now hit up to 10 targets. Valor of Azeroth, new ability via spellbook. Valor of Azeroth grants all party and raid members 1.5x the warrior's level in attack power, melee and range, and 5% crit chance to all spells and attacks. This is not cumulative with Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer. Oh. Bro, new meta. 20-person raid group for Molten Core has 0 warriors in it. As soon as the raid wipes, if it wipes, you bring in the one benched warrior. Oh my god. Wait, no. You needed the warrior in there for Battle Shout anyways, to begin with. Warriors just have world buff all the time now. Ay. Warriors now have Commanding Shout, Battle Shout, and Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer. They have so many buffs now. What's this? Wait, that's literally the thing we're looking at right now, buddy. You don't need to link it in chat. Oh, maybe someone asked for the link. Oh, yeah, I see. Someone did ask for link. There you go. Okay. Someone posts a link in chat. I assume they want me to look at it. I didn't see that someone else asked for it. Okay. Final thing. Developers note, we are trying a rather radical new change to essentially allow warriors to provide themselves and raid members with Dragon Slayer Light in case they or other raid members don't have or have unfortunately lost their world buffs. Warriors in particular gain a massive amount of power from world buffs, and the class can feel a lot less satisfying without them. That's true. So while this won't raise a warrior's overall maximum potential throughput, it should help bring the floor up in situations where warriors have to go without world buffs. This is an experimental change for the PTR, and we may remove or iterate on this change before Phase 4 releases. As if saying this will make the warriors not have a temper tantrum when you remove it. Whether you say this or not, if you go and then remove or nerf or change this, the warriors will have an absolute temper tantrum. We are hoping that this provides some interesting raid utility for warriors should wipes or deaths occur, allowing them and their party/raid members to get a portion of the power they gain from world buffs after losing them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of memey at first, but I don't know. It seems I think it's all right. Can rogues get Warchief's Blessing Light then? Yeah, let's have every class bring one of the world buffs, but at 70% potency. We could get Warchief's Blessing Light. We can get Spirit of Zandalar Light. We can get Songflower Light. What else could we get? DMF Light. Yeah, we could just get a 6% damage buff or something. There's no way. It says not cumulative with Rallying Cry of the Dragons. It doesn't stack with the normal buffs. Or at least the similar buff, Okay, well. Yeah, I mean, this I think is a L. Absolutely. This is the most disappointing one here. The rest of them are kind of whatever. But this just is Crimson Tempest is not going to be used now. That's it. It's done.